No, I want him to look like an elephant man, if it happens.
It turns out, according to this study, that guys do not want children of other men diluting the gene pool.
Well, no, I don't.
Men, the study says...
I don't want children of other men peeing in my pool either. Come on now.
Men, the study says, can never be absolutely certain they are the father of a child, while women are more concerned about having a partner who is committed to raising a family.
Yeah, it's so anthropological. We think we're smarter than being a beast, but we're not really.
I don't think that.
I'm Marshall Phillips, the Armstrong and Getty Show.
That makes such great sense. It fits into this gay thing we're having. Yeah, the woman's concern is if the male goes off and has a kid with somebody else, whatever. That's got nothing to do with the offspring that I'm trying to raise. But if you get an attachment and no longer support our family, that's a problem.
You've betrayed your biological duty.
And for the guy, it's the reverse.
Yeah.
I want to make sure this is my offspring. I need to pass along my genes.
From a biological perspective.
That's really interesting that so many of our, we think these are, high-level intellectual decisions are just...
But what does it all have to do with? What does it all boil down to? The success of the gene, which could be translated as to the health and success of the child.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Which is why, as I started to say before, the state has an interest in stable marriage. So we're not paying for that kid to eat and go to prison.
This gay marriage study about open relationships. Any more comment?
Yeah, keep Gordon around. He's in a straight open marriage.
1-866-331-TALK, 1-866-331-TALK. You're listening to the Armstrong and Getty Show.
Edwards leaves him a message warning him that Elizabeth might be listening in the next time he calls.
Andrew, it's John. I'm going to leave you this message just in case you get a call from me where I ask you what's going on. That's the reason we're calling is because Elizabeth's standing there. So if I'm calling saying what happened, how did this happen, what's going on, then that's because Elizabeth's standing there with me.
Wow.
Boy, howdy.
He saved the messages.
I realize I'm slicing ethics a little thin, but if you decide to enter into some sort of conspiracy with your friends, I would say part of what goes along with that is like not keeping evidence that you can screw them with later. Of course, if you're willing to do that, you're probably the sort of person who's willing to do that.
Right, exactly. No honor among thieves, as it goes.
Well said.
Wow, I didn't realize there was actual audio tape of John Edwards being involved in the cover-up. Weak.
What's the matter with you? Well, they're living the open marriage, Jack.
No, they weren't.
No?
Open marriage is where both sides agree. Not just horny dude.
Yes.
Where your wife thinks you're being faithful like everybody else.
And where I'm taping my sexual liaisons with my pregnant lover. And having my other friend who's taping my phone messages claim to be the father. Right. I tell you what, can't tell the players without a scorecard.
Briefly, what we've been talking about is this study about gay marriages where it turns out, at least the men anyway, open marriage, fairly common. Well, at least the study they did, 50% of the men in gay marriage is open marriage.
It's San Francisco State study. Was it Bay Area gays?
It doesn't say specifically. Oh, yeah. Among gay men and lesbians in the Bay Area. Well,
that factors in.
Sure it does. Of course it does.
Has to.
The People's Gay Public of Drugifornia.
That's what I'm saying. Gordon from Santa Rosa. Hello, Gordon. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Thank you for holding. It's good of you to call. Go ahead.
Thank you for taking the call.
Sure.
I should actually clarify. Scott confused me when he asked where I was calling from. I don't live in Santa Rosa. I live in Oakland. I'm just here on business.
Don't matter.
That's all right.
But maybe things are a little bit different in Oakland and San Francisco than Santa Rosa. Definitely they're different than they are in Omaha, like you were saying earlier. But, yes, my wife and I have been together for about 15 years. We do have an open relationship, and communication is the biggest part of it, that we are honest with each other about what we do and who we're doing it with, and as long as we communicate and make sure each of us is okay with the other person's secondary partners, it works out for us.
Here's one of the things I've always wondered about with these sorts of deals. For instance, my wife's better looking than I am. If we have an open marriage, she's going to get lucky or have the opportunity much more often than I am.
Yes.
How do you work that out? I mean, that's what seemed to be a problem to me.
That is just something that the men have to live with. That is the dynamic of the relationship. And
I don't want to.
It seems like if you got a husband and wife and you decide, okay, we're going to have an open marriage starting now. She goes out, has sex that night. You try as hard as you can. You got about a 1 in 10 shot. I mean, that just seems like the way
if she has 5 partners over the next 2 weeks and you're high and dry.
Right.
Hey, honey, can we have sex? No, I'm tired from banging all these other dudes.
And that is a reality in the situation. My wife does have 2 secondary partners that she sees frequently, and I have had 2 partners in the last 10 years. However...
Wow. Do you know these guys?
Yes, both of them are very good friends of mine.
Okay. Do you ever discuss...
A little bit, yes. We do have some discretion. We don't make a big deal out of it, but it is acknowledged. And
you're a gentleman.
Just because that may have gone by me or a listener. You've had how many partners in how many years?
Well, in the 15 years that she and I have been together, I've dated, I think, 3, maybe 4 other women for various lengths of time. A couple of them single dates only, and it didn't work out. But, yeah, it's been a little bit more dry for me than it has for her.
That doesn't bother you?
On a certain level, it does. It does become frustrating after a time, but at least I know that I have the freedom to explore if I also have the opportunity.
See, I like the opposite. I like she would be interested in me, but I'm married, and I never get to find out. I never get to discover the real truth, which is they're not interested in me at all. But I can live that dream.
Much better.
I can fantasize to myself that, of course, she'd be interested. I'm just married.
Gordon, listen, you're obviously a very bright guy and seem reasonably sane. So you do understand how very different that is than the vast majority of us, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I do realize, well, to be perfectly honest, our families do not know that we have this relationship. A few of our close friends do, obviously the other partners do. And we have to be very discreet about how we meet other people and bring them into our relationship.
Do you think you're just more emotionally evolved than most people, or do you just realize, I've got kind of an odd way of seeing this, and so does my wife, and it works for us?
I think it's a little bit of both. That we are maybe a little bit more evolved than our puritanical culture is right now. And part of it, I think, is that we're also, because we are reasonable, we can say that just because we love each other, just because we're committed to each other, that doesn't mean we have no lust for other people anymore.
Yeah. Do you have any kids?
We do not have any kids.
Okay.
But I would like to say, when Jack said earlier that he has never met anybody in a straight, open relationship.
In my life, yes.
I think that's probably not true. I think you probably have met people. There are more of them out there than you realize.
Right.
But they are discreet about it. They don't make a big deal. This isn't the 70s with key parties and hot tubs full of cocaine anymore.
Yeah.
So,
shame. What if you were to take a wild guess? What percentage of heterosexual marriages do you think are open? What would you guess?
It's difficult to say, and again, my perspective might be a little bit skewed because I live in Oakland. I lived in San Francisco for many years.
That's why it's called a guess.
Yeah, maybe 1 to 2, possibly 3%.
Okay. Gordon, nice to talk to you, my friend.
Wow.
I hope you kids are happy with your wild, wacky, open relationship. I don't get it, but
yeah, thanks. His probably skewed view is 1%. So I'm back to thinking it's 1 out of 1,000. By the way, he's being had. Oh yeah, he's being had by a woman who says, "Yeah, good luck with that. Have as much sex as you want. Good luck. I'm going to get laid every night, but good luck with that. Yeah, I'm sure you'll do really well." What a deal! That's hilarious.
Easy. Now it works for them. Why must you judge? Why?
It works because he hasn't caught on yet.
Oh, jeez, Gordon! Don't you see what I have to work with?
Oh my God!
What a mean man you are! You're a mean man.
She sends him out knowing he's going to sit there on the bar stool all alone.
Sure,
all
you can have sex with somebody else. Right.
Good luck with that.
Good luck. See you tomorrow.
I'm going to be home late, by the way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And by the way, one other point that probably should be said out loud because people are screaming it at their radios right now is, yes, a lot of us have that lust. And a lot of us have a lot of other lusts, too, but we don't indulge them.
Because we're not animals.
Well, again, you got to go that way. You got to take it that far. You're trying to be diplomatic here.
More calls coming up. 1-866-331-TALK. You're listening to the Armstrong and Getty Show. So last hour of the week is your hour. You get to talk about anything you want.
Oh, no.
At 1-866-331-TALK. If you want to continue this open gay marriage question, you can. You don't have to.
Clips of the Week is pretty good, too.
It's all coming up. 1-866-331-TALK, 9 o'clock, the Armstrong and Getty Show.